Greetings, everyone. Our team is presenting on the Tropical Forest Forever Facility, a 2025 Earthshot Prize finalist in Protect and Restore Nature. And this is our team members, and this is our table of contents. So, as we all know, tropical forests are vital for climate and biodiversity. Yet, millions of hectares are lost each year because destruction is more profitable than protection. So, in this case, the TFFF aims to change this by proposing a $125 billion funds to pay countries for protecting tropical forests, making conservation more profitable than destruction. We'll give an overview of how this model tackles deforestation and what it could mean for Vietnam.
About the problem. To deeply understand the problem that TFFF is trying to solve, the first step is organization need to exist in the first place. According to Global Forest Watch, between 2002 to 2022, a significant amount of forests were lost, about 4.1 million hectares, due to land clearing of agriculture and development. Therefore, TFFF will established to address the serious problem of deforestation, which has many negative impacts on our life. By applying the triple bottom line framework, our team analyzed the impact from three different perspectives. Firstly, in terms of profit, although deforestation may bring short-term financial benefits, it significantly reduces the long-term economic loss of forests. For example, activities such as logging can generate immediate financial return. However, they also directly affect our lives by destroying natural resources that support sustainable development. Secondly, from the environmental perspective, forest loss not only reduce biodiversity but also accelerate climate change, as deforestation accounts for around 10% of global CO2 emissions. At the same time, forests absorb nearly 30% of the carbon humans release each year, which means that protecting forests is essential for climate stability. Finally, regarding people, around 1.6 billion people depend heavily on forests for their livelihood. As a result, uh, when forests disappear, local communities lose not only their food security and income, but also their cultural identity.
Okay, come to the conclusion. It's very straightforward. It is to pay countries for verify forest conservation outcome at national scale over the long terms. Forest protection is checked through satellite-based observation system that continuously monitor forest cover. Payments are linked to real visible results, not project-based and not projection to avoid exploitation. The framework is anchored by a core group of 12 countries that link government design and oversight. And beyond that core, the TFF has backing from 53 countries, together represent more than 90% of tropical forests in lower income regions. What makes this project stand out is it operates to a mutual-patient governance framework with clear rules and open funding terms. At least 20% of all funding is direct to minority communities, though most directly involved in forest protection. So far, confirmed pledge exceeds 6.7 billion US dollars. Norway has committed 3 billion, Brazil, Germany, and Indonesia had each pledged 1 billion each. France has committed 500 million euros under defined conditions, laying the groundwork for future resort-based disbursement. There is no carbon trading, no offset market, and no short-term pilot cycle. Climate mitigation and biodiversity protection are addressed together through stable international cooperation. And the result is a long-term incentive structure that aligns economic reality with environment protection. It advanced SDG 13, climate action, SDG 15, life on land, and reflect SDG 17 through global partnership. This is why its approach already gained international recognition, placing the Tropical Forest Forever Facility among the finalists for the Earthshot Prize 2025.
Next, I will share our strategic recommendation. We recommend that TFFF adopt the MRV framework, measurement, reporting, and verification. MRV was introduced in UNFCCC negotiations and highlighted in the Bali Action Plan at the 13th Conference of the Parties in 2007. Although it starts in climate policy, it also fits forest because protecting forests is a key way to reduce emissions. MRV has turned forest outcomes into research that can be checked and paid for. This matters for tropical forest forever facility because they pay country based on verified standing forest area. Satellites can check forever forest cover, but different definitions and methods can produce different numbers. That is why TFFF needs one set MRV rulebook to keep research to fair and comparable across countries. To scale up MRV framework, tropical forest forever facility should set one rulebook, define eligible forests and the satellite method. Next, they should pilot it in a few countries and refine the rules. Thirdly, roll it using one reporting template, one central database, and independent verifies. And finally, follow one yearly cycle so results stay consistent over time. MRV framework delivers two key benefits. First is payment credibility. One clear, verified number makes payment transparent and reduce disturb. Secondly is lower investor risk. Independent checks build confidence, help the TFFF raise capital and support scaling.
With this context in mind, I will now turn to the key lessons from the Tropical Forest Forever facility and their implications for Vietnam. The TFFF offers two central lessons for forest conservation finance. First, long-term and predictable funding fundamentally reshapes incentives. Second, payments are performance-based and tied to verify reductions in deforestation. Together, these features transform forest conservation from a temporary obligation into a rational economic choice. This is highly relevant for Vietnam, where forest protection policies already exist but remain constrained by unstable funding cycles and project-based aid. More broadly, TFF illustrates a shift in climate finance away from aid-based transfers toward outcome-based financial systems. From a policy perspective, this implies moving away from input-based measures such as tree planting targets or patrol numbers and toward output-based payment that are released only when forest cover and forest quality are independently verified. This approach aligns closely with planetary boundaries theory, which identifies deforestation as a key driver pushing the land system beyond safe ecological limits. By linking finance directly to ecological outcomes, TFFF strengthens sustainability while promoting innovation in satellite monitoring, verification, and transparency. Vietnam is not starting from zero. The country already operates the payment for forest environmental services mechanism. However, to better align with the TFFF model, three adjustments are needed. First, linking payments to measurable forest outcomes, such as avoided deforestation or improved forest quality, rather than flat administrative rates. Second, strengthening independent monitoring and through satellite data and provincial level assessments, and improving benefit sharing to ensure ethnic minority communities receive a fair share of conservation finance. Vietnam also has clear advantages, including an established PFES legal framework, national forest cover of around 42% in 2020, and experience with ecosystem-based solutions such as mangrove restoration in the Mekong Delta. Nevertheless, constraints remain. High opportunity costs from agricultural expansion in Central Highlands, uneven enforcement capacity, and limited transparency at the local level mean that TFFF style finance cannot simply be layered onto existing systems without reform. If carefully implemented, a TFFF aligned model could deliver stable long-term income for local and ethnic minority communities while supporting provincial governments and downstream users. At the same time, transition costs for smallholders and local authorities highlight the need for phased implementation, transitional support, and alternative livelihood programs. In conclusion, the Tropical Forest Forever Facility shows that protecting forests can last long, make money, and be fair. By connecting funding to real results, conservation becomes a smart economic choice, not just a moral duty. For Vietnam, the key lesson is to strengthen the PFES so payments reward clear forest outcome and share benefits more fairly. This would help Vietnam lead on climate finance and prove that protecting forests is both practical and sustainable. Thank you for listening to our presentation. This is the references we use in our slides.